and we're going to take a look at our Fort Worth camera here. What we're looking at is what the definition of freezing rain is, and that is rain that comes down, freezes once it makes contact with the surface. That's what we're seeing here on the camera lens. As we look over Fort Worth, the temperature right now of 27 degrees. Yes, and this is elevated, so it's probably colder on this camera lens. As soon as that rain comes in contact with anything that's frozen, it's going to freeze. And that right there is ice that is now on our camera there in Fort Worth. We have that winter warning in place. Winter storm warning goes in effect until 9 tomorrow morning. It does include our eastern counties. It includes Rockwall, Hunt, Kaufman counties towards the east. This is for sleet, freezing rain accumulations between a tenth to a quarter. And this is on top of what we've already seen. On the other side, including Tarrant, Dallas, Collin, and Denton counties towards the west, that has now been replaced with an ice storm warning. And it goes into place until 9 Thursday for ice accumulations of a quarter to half of an inch. That is significant. That means that we're going to see this glaze continue. We're going to see accumulations on tree limbs. We're going to see it on power lines, unfortunately. It does cause that hazard. Looking closer at radar at this over the last hour, we've seen the transition from sleet to more of a freezing rain, and that's going to continue throughout the remainder of the morning and into the afternoon. The purple that you see, that's sleet. The pink that you see, that is the freezing rain. I'm going to zoom in here across Dallas-Fort Worth. You can see that purple transitioning into the pink within the last hour. We're definitely seeing it across all of Dallas County now. Tarrant County still seeing a mix of sleet and freezing rain that extends from Saginaw to the central part of Fort Worth, Arlington included in that. I have been meaning to check on my parents here. I haven't this morning just yet. They're in Arlington. So Weatherford seeing a little bit of that transition as well. But the more west you go, we're seeing more of a sleet. So Graham seeing more of a sleet there. Jacksboro, Jack County seeing a bit more of that sleet. South of Dallas-Fort Worth, it is that freezing rain that we're seeing from Cleburne into Burleson, Midlothian, seeing just that. And towards the north and east, seeing a bit more of that purple, meaning some more sleet. This more so across portions of Hunt County. We are looking at that area of seeing more of that mix throughout the day. That's why it's a winter storm warning there versus that ice storm warning. Rockwall right now, by the way, seeing both, seeing a combination of freezing rain and sleet at the moment. I'm going to take you hour by hour here throughout the next couple of hours. This is Wednesday around 11. You can see that transition fully into freezing rain across Dallas-Fort Worth, across Denton and Collin County. This is now noon. You can see that coverage high across Denton and Tarrant County as well. And that's just going to continue for this afternoon. We're going to see anywhere between a quarter to half an inch of accumulation where that ice storm warning is a tenth to a quarter elsewhere. I do want to bring in meteorologist Greg Fields now to describe the difference between that sleet and freezing rain.
A little bit different situation today. We saw the sleet yesterday. Today going to be a little bit different. We are talking about freezing rain. So that melted a little bit what we had yesterday and then froze before hitting the ground. So we had the ping, the bouncing with the sleet yesterday. But this is a melting as it gets all the way to the surface. But our temperatures in the upper 20s. So it's falling as liquid now, but freezing on contact with the ground. So this is going to be a little more dangerous, maybe a little more deceptive as well with that freezing rain. And we will eventually get that transition over to all rain. But that won't be until very late tonight, heading into the early morning hours on tomorrow. So we'll be talking more about that. So more of a freezing rain event today. And here's what we're talking about when we get freezing rain. Dangerous travel, tree breakage, and possible power outages, especially in the red shaded area where we do have that the ice storm warning that we've been talking about. A little further to the east where we're going to get more of that wintry mix of the freezing rain and sleet. Ice covered roads, some power outages could be possible in those areas getting out toward Greenville and Sulphur Springs, and then a little farther east. More rain, I think we're going to see, and we've seen that into far east Texas, out over the Architect region, but still some icy roads, especially in our southeastern counties where we have seen that the ongoing freezing rain here this morning, and they'll continue to see that this afternoon. So anywhere you go across North Texas, we are going to be looking at some impacts potentially from this winter weather that we've been talking about, and it's going to be sticking around for a while.